I have here in my hand a ring. Show that to you there. And of course you can see it's pretty gold color. It's got a rock on it. If I took this to a jeweler and I asked him how much of value it would have, to be quite honest with you, it would probably not have very much value at all, even though it's pretty gold color. It's not gold, and the sparkly little rock in there really isn't much of a rock at all. It's just plastic. Maybe it's zirconium, I can't remember. But anyway, it's not like a diamond or anything like that. So if I were to take this to a jeweler, the jeweler would tell me, I'm sorry, but this isn't, very valuable at all. It's really has very little, if any, value. However, if I was going to give this to someone I loved and it was really all that I could afford, and it was a token of my love for them, uh, that person would probably say that this is the most valuable thing that they have ever seen. The difference is this: you see, value by the jeweler was determined by what's made out of. Value, according to the person that I give it to, sees it as not what it's made out of, but who it came from. There's two different kinds of value there. Some things are valued because of what they're made out of. Some things are valued because of how they are held in the eyes of other people. Welcome to Fresh Light. Tonight we continue our study on the power of love. And today, as we're working through the acronym of love, if you remember, if you've been with us in the last couple of lessons, the first lesson we talked about leadership and about the fact that the L for love is leadership. All of us are leaders in one way or another. Leadership isn't a position or a title. Leadership is the opportunity, the ability, the process we have of influencing others. And as John Maxwell says, all of us are leaders. So leadership is way more than just a position or a title. Last week we talked about the O in love, which is opportunities, and making sure that we look for the opportunities that we have to show other people love. And tonight we're going to look at the V in love, and that is the word value. Value is defined in the dictionary as being something of great worth or of importance. It is something that is treasured by other people. Jesus showed value to other people. And one of the things that value does is it makes others feel important. But one of the ways we can show value is to touch others, either emotionally or spiritually. Jesus did that. If you remember the story of healing the leper, lepers were hideous people. Nobody was supposed to touch a leper or they would be unclean. Jesus touched the leper, and by doing so, he showed value to them. Jesus showed value to the little girl that died, that he rose from the dead. He showed value to people that were ill. One of my favorite thoughts on the Jesus showing value is if you remember the story of him healing the man at the well, and Jesus comes up to him. The man had been ill for 30 some years, and Jesus comes up and says, do you want to get well? It may seem like a weird question, but what Jesus is really doing, he's valuing the person by validating his feelings and saying, do you even want to get well? And there was even a sense of value. Jesus valued the man, the thief on the cross. He was a dirty, rotten criminal. He was hanging on the cross. He deserved to be crucified. And he called out to Jesus, and even in Jesus' dying breaths, he valued the man by telling him, today you'll be with me in paradise. Jesus valued Peter. I think of Peter, he denied Jesus 3 times exactly as Jesus said he would. And yet on that beach, after Jesus was crucified, died, and rose from the dead, on that beach that morning, over breakfast of fish, Jesus said, Peter, do you love me? And in a sense, reaching out to him and saying, Peter, I value you. Do you value me? That's what value is about, and that's what we're called to do. In fact, the Apostle Paul writes in Philippians chapter 2, verse 3, he says, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress other people. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. That's what value is about, is showing other people, helping other people to realize their value, not to be concerned about your value. You know, there's so many people out there. We see so much hate. We see so much anger right now and so much violence. And so many times that comes from a feeling of wanting to be superior and wanting to feel valued. And so lashing out at those that for whatever the reason we don't feel valued by. And Paul is saying, show other people the value. So we need to show leadership. We need to take opportunities to show other people the love of God, and we need to value them. Hebrews 13:2 says this, don't forget to show hospitality to strangers, for some who have done this have entertained angels without realizing it. What a cool story. Now, I don't think Paul is saying, or whoever the writer of Hebrews is, I don't think he's saying that we might have angels come into our house, although that is a real possibility. I believe in angels. I think that the concept, the view we have of angels is skewed. I don't think all the angels have wings. I don't think that people that are in heaven are people that have died and gone to heaven and then grown a pair of wings. I don't think that's it. Angels can take many different forms. In fact, if you read in the story of Abraham back in Genesis, Abraham was visited by angels and they looked just like men. So angels can take different forms. They can take forms of people. And so there are stories of people that I'm reminded of one story in particular of a little girl standing on the side of the road, and a stranger picked her up and took her to the place that she was supposed to go. And later on told the story, and they said, well, that little girl died years ago. So maybe it was an angel. I don't know. I know another friend that said that somebody put their hand on her shoulder and said, I'll pray for you. And when she turned around, there was nobody there. So I believe angels are true, are real. I believe that to the bottom of my heart. But I think what Paul is saying, or the writer of the Hebrews, I think it was Paul, obviously. What I think what the writer of the Hebrews is saying here is that we should show hospitality to everybody, because we don't know if that person is an angel or not. Now, you might say to me, well, I know that person's not an angel. They're sitting on the side of the road. They're drunk as a skunk. Maybe that's the form the angel is taking to get your attention. And so I think what the writer of the Hebrews is saying is, wherever we are, in whatever situation we're doing, whatever kind of people we're surrounded by, we need to learn to show them hospitality and to show them love, because they may be angels that God has sent to us to give us an opportunity. There's that word opportunity again, an opportunity to show them the love of God. I think if we show other people hospitality, especially strangers, and that's, I think, a big deal here, because it's easy to show hospitality to people that are our friends, our neighbors, people that we rub shoulders with. But what about total strangers? You know, right now especially, it's scary to even think of that because of all the violence around. But how can we do that? What can that do for us? Well, first of all, by showing hospitality to strangers, we instill value in them. You know, just those little things that we can do. Like I mentioned last week, the person waiting on us at the grocery store or the restaurant, the person at the gas station, holding doors open for people. Just little things like that shows them value. When I hold a door open for you, whether you're a guy or a girl, when I hold the door open for you, it's not because I think I'm superior to you. It's because I want to do something for you. So many ways in which we can do that. The second thing that we can do that shows value is just to show people love. The power of touch is so amazing, and so maybe sometimes showing value and love is just putting your hand on a shoulder or a hand and just saying, you know, I'm praying for you, or just showing that kind of love that you have. And the third thing is that showing value to other people reflects the character of Jesus. Jesus showed value to everybody he met, and it's interesting because Jesus met up with people that he didn't know. The godly side of Jesus knew, but he really didn't know them. He didn't know who they were from a human standpoint. He didn't just heal his friends. He healed total strangers. What we need to realize is that when we reflect the character of Christ, that means that we're showing other people exactly what Jesus was like. And it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter their background. It doesn't matter their struggle right now. You may hate me. You may be violently opposed to my opinion on certain social issues, and that's okay. But I want you to know this: I love you. And that's what value does. And that's what we need to remember to do in our lives, is to show other people value by showing them the love of Jesus Christ, not being concerned about anything else other than that. Leadership, opportunities, value. Next week, we'll talk about what it means to show love by being an example of Jesus, and that'll finish our study here on love. Thanks for watching tonight. Let's have a word of prayer together. Jesus, thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving us. We are people that aren't easy to love, and we struggle many, many times, I know. But I pray that you would help us, first of all, to remember your love for us. And then also, I pray for my brothers and sisters, my friends out here that are listening tonight. I ask that you would help them to be reminded as well of the great love that you have for them. I pray these things in your name. Amen. So go forth, show somebody you know, and somebody you don't know, the value that God has placed on them. And that will be showing them love and reflecting the character and the love of Jesus through you to them. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you can attend church on Sunday. If you don't have a church to attend, we'd love to have you at Zion, either in person or online. Just go to zionlutheranbonelake.org, and it'll give you the information on where we're at, either online, Facebook, and YouTube, or visiting us in person. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great night.